Welcoming you all to this structural analysis class. Today we are going to see about principle of virtual work. So this principle of virtual work was developed by Johann Bernoulli in 1717, and this is considered to be the most versatile method to find out the deflection and slope of the structure. Structure in the sense beams, rigid jointed frames and pin jointed frames. This method is sometimes referred to as an unit load method. So virtual work method is also known as unit load method. So what it means the term virtual work is the work done by a real force acting through a virtual displacement or a virtual force acting through a real displacement. So using a virtual displacement, we can found out the real force, and using a virtual force, we can found out the real displacement. From the term virtual, it is not a real quantity. We know it is an imaginary one. So we are going to apply an imaginary load. Uh, the principle of virtual work is based on the conservation of energy. So we know what is conservation of energy. That is energy neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be conveyed from one form to another. So it is based on the principle of conservation of energy. For a structure, which implies that work done on a structure by external load is equal to the internal energy stored in the structure. It is nothing but work done by external load is equal to work done by internal load. So there should be a relation between the external and internal load. It is necessary that the external and internal loads be related by the equations of equilibrium, and the external and internal displacements must be related by the compatibility of the displacements. In other words, if the external displacements are known, the corresponding internal displacements are uniquely defined. In general, the principle of virtual work and energy theorem states that work done by the external load is equal to work done by internal forces. So by using this principle of virtual work, we are going to find out deflection and slope for structures like beams, then rigid jointed frames and pin jointed frame, that is trusses. So this virtual work method is also known as unit load method. When the imaginary load is considered, we consider that imaginary load is 1 kilonewton, that is unit load method. So using this energy equation, we can found out the deflection of the structure. Delta is equal to integral over P dash E dV. Um, so this is based on energy equation. So in case of pin jointed frames, what will we do? In case of pin jointed frames, there is only one type of stress, that is direct stress. So whether it is subjected to a tensile stress or compressive stress. So this stress may be different in different members, but it is constant at all points in a member. For case, so let me consider. So let me consider a truss member. So the stress may be different in different members. So the stress at AB may be different in CD, but the stress throughout this member is considered to be constant. So del is equal to summation of K into del L, where del L is equal to, that is a change in length is equal to, that is elongation, PL by AE, which is the extension or shortening of the members. If it is subject to tensile force, there will be extension of member. And if it is subjected to compressive force, there will be shortening of members. The method needs analysis of the truss twice. So once with the given loading to get the P terms, and the second time with unit load to get the K terms. So in strain energy method, an imaginary load P is applied to the point where the deflection is desired to be determined, and P is equated to 0 in the final step and the deflection is obtained. So let me see with an example in the following slides. So in unit load method, a unit load instead of P is applied at the point where the deflection is desired. So it is assumed throughout our discussion that the method of superposition holds good. Strain energy of the member is defined as the internal work done in deforming the body by the action of externally applied forces. So we know that when a member, is subject to consider this as a member, when it is subjected to an external loading such as UDL or any point load, Due to that external load, there will be a deflection. Due to the load applied externally, there will be an internal forces generated within the structure. So the energy stored within the structure due to the applied external load is known as strain energy. So this energy in elastic bodies is known as elastic strain energy. So we will see this with an example sum. So now we are going to see how to find the deflection of a uh, beam using virtual work method. So consider a beam which is shown in the figure. It is subjected to an UDL and a point load. So first step is to remove the external loading. So what is the external loading in this given beam? An UDL and a point load. And we have to apply a unit load instead of that external loading. So unit load in the sense, as it is a virtual work method, that is, we are going to apply an imaginary load. Then we have to take a cross section x from a distance small x, and we are going to take moment about that point. So if you want to find the deflection of a structure at the point, you have to apply a unit load. If you want to find the slope of the structure, then you have to apply unit moment. And we have separate formulas to find out this deflection and slope. If you want to find out the deflection when we are applying unit load, the formula will be uh, 1 into del equal to integral over 0 to L small m into capital M by EI into dx. So what this one del means, one is the unit load applied and del is the deflection produced. So the deflection which we required. So here we have used 1 because we have applied unit load, unit in the sense 1. So del is the deflection due to that external load applied, that is real load. So we refer here as external loads as real load, and unit load or imaginary loads as virtual forces. So the small m is the moment due to that unit load, that is an imaginary load applied. What is the moment due to the virtual load? So it is virtual moment. Capital M denotes so the moment due to real forces. So capital M is the moment due to the real forces. So while calculating small m, we will consider virtual forces, and while calculating capital M, we will consider the real forces. So we know E is Young's modulus of elasticity or elastic modulus, and I is moment of inertia, which is based on the cross section of the member. So this is for deflection. When we comes to slope, it will be, so in case of deflection, we have to find del. If in case of slope, we have to find theta. So 1 into theta integral over 0 L m theta into m capital M by EI into dx. So this is the same. It is an internal virtual moment, and it is an internal moment for the real forces. So on that one denotes it is unit moment is applied. So note down this sum. We have to find out the deflection at joint B. So it is a cantilever beam subjected to a UDL of 25 kilonewton per meter. So it is the external loading here. So here we have to find out the deflection at the free end. The E value given is 2 into 10 to the power 5 MPa, that is Newton per mm square, and I is equal to 825 into 10 to the power 7 mm power 4. So let the ends be A and B. So it is just a cantilever beam of AB subjected to the UDL of 25 kilonewton per meter throughout the span, and we have to find the deflection at end B. So we know the formula virtual work equation. Now we are going to find out the deflection. So 1 into del equal to integral over 0 to L small m into capital M divided by EI into dx. So m is what? Virtual moment. So to generate this virtual moment, we have to remove the external loading. So now we are going to remove the external loading of 25 kilonewton per meter of UDL from this span, and we are going to apply a virtual force of 1 kilonewton where the displacement is to be found out. So where we have to find out the displacement? At point B. So now the external loading has been removed and we are going to apply a unit load. At end B. So now we are going to take a section X, so which is at a distance of small x from end B. So now we are going to take the moment about this section X. So it will be minus 1 into X. So this is the moment created at the section X due to the unit load applied. So next we have to find capital M, that is real moment. So real moment is due to the external loading of 25 kilonewton per meter UDL, which is applied throughout the span of the beam. And the span of the beam given is 12 meter. So note down the span of the beam given is 12 meter. So now capital M is equal to, so now taking the same section X, and we are taking the real forces acting. So what is the real force? 25 kilonewton per meter. So taking the same X section at a distance of H from end B. So what will be the moment? Capital M is equal to minus 25 into H square by 2. So it is an UDL at a distance of H. To obtain load, it is 25 into H. To find out the center point, it is H by 2. So it is minus 12.5 H square by 2. Sorry, H square. So real moment is minus 12.5 H square. So next, substituting these values in our virtual work equation. So our virtual work equation is one into del equal to, so we are going to find out the deflection at B. So it is del B, which is in vertical direction. So it is denoted as B integral over 0 L small m into capital M by EI into dx. So here you can see the loading is symmetrical. So we have taken only one span, that is 0 to L. If it is subjected to unsymmetrical loading, and or we have to find out the deflection at point C or D, which is at the midspan, we have to take two or more sections. So here is a simple sum from length of 12. So integral over 0 to 12 minus 1 into m, that is internal, that is virtual moment, and real moment is minus of 12.5 h square divided by ei into dx. So what will be the next step? Integral over 0 to 12 minus 1 into minus 12.5, it is plus 12.5. So 12.5 into h cube by ei into dx. So what will we get if we integrate h cube? So h power 3 plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1. So 12.5 into h power 4 divided by 4 into ei, a lower limit of 0 to upper limit 12. So now we have to substitute 12 for h. So 12.5 into 12 power 4 divided by 4 ei. So lower limit is 0, 0. So using calculate the value for this. That is 64800 divided by ei. And we already had the value for this flexural rigidity ei. Now substituting this value for e and I. So 64,800 divided by 2 into 10 to the power 8 into 825 into 10 to the power minus 5. So all in Newton and mm. So the value obtained is 0.00393 meter or 39.3 mm. So the deflection at the end is end B of the cantilever beam subjected to UDL of 25 kilonewton per meter is 39.3 mm. So this is how we have to solve for a beam. So now we are going to see how to solve for a pin jointed structure, that is truss. So note down this sum. Determine the vertical displacement of joint C of the steel truss shown in figure. The cross-sectional area of each member is A is equal to 400 mm square and E equal to 2 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per mm square. So here a truss, steel truss is given, and it is subjected to two vertical loads. One is 50 kilonewton at joint B and another 50 kilonewton at joint C. So the span of AB is 3 meter, BC is 3 meter, CD is 3 meter, and the vertical height is also 3 meter. So it is easy to calculate the angles. So 3 meter, which indicates that the angle is 45 degree. And we know that by using virtual work method, the formula to find out the deflection is 1 into del is equal to summation of KFL divided by AE. So this is K, and we are going to find out the virtual forces K and real forces F, and we know L, and we have to substitute this AE values. Then we can find out the deflection of this truss. So here we are having two loads, that is 50 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton at point B and C. But where we have to find out the deflection? We have to find out the deflection at joint C. So to find out the virtual force, we are going to apply a unit load of 1 kilonewton at joint C. So there are two reactions. So here we are having two supports. As it is as there is no horizontal load, there won't be any horizontal reaction here. So VA, that is RA and RB. So to find out the reaction, taking moment about D, because moment about D, it is a simply supported end, so it will be a 0. So VA into distance is 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9. VA into 9 minus, and we are having a 1 kilonewton which is acting downward. Therefore, minus 1 into 3 equal to 0. So next step will be VA into 9 equal to 1 into 3, and we arrive that VA is equal to 1 by 3 kilonewton. So the reaction at support A is 1 by 3 kilonewton. So similarly calculate for VD. We know that the total load VA plus VD is equal to total load. So VD is equal to total load minus VA. So we have obtained it is 1 by 3. So total load is 1 here. So we are applying a unit load of 1 kilonewton. So total load considered is 1 kilonewton. So 1 minus 1 by 3 is equal to 2 by 3 kilonewton. So now we are having these reactions RA and RB, and we are going to solve the structure by method of joints. So considering joint A, we have to find out all the member forces for this virtual force. So we have, what is the initial assumption in method of joint? We have to assume all the members are subjected to a tensile force. So it is acting outwards. The arrow should be outwards. So taking equilibrium equation, summation of vertical force is equal to 0. We will have KAF into cos 45 degree plus 1 by 3. So it is an upward direction, it too in upward direction. So positive signs. So KF cos 45 degree is equal to this 1 by 3 comes this side to the equal to. So it is minus 1 by 3. So we have arrived the value for KAF, that is minus 0.471 kilonewton. If the sign is negative, it indicates the member force is in compressive. So the member force is compressive in nature. So the member virtual force of AF is 0.471 kilonewton. So next taking the next equilibrium equation, that is summation of H equal to 0. So KAF into cos 45 degree plus KAB is equal to KAB equal to 0. So minus 0.471 cos 45 plus KAB equal to 0. So substituting these values, we will have value of KAB as 0.333 kilonewton. So it will take lot of time to solve this sum. So do it in a quick manner, as same steps are repeated again and again. So now we have found out KAF and KAB. So next moving to the next joint, top joint, that is F. So joint F. So what are the members connecting KFE, KFB and KFA? Taking summation of H equal to 0. So KFA into cos 45 degree plus KFE equal to 0. So if you're strong in method of joints, don't confuse with the sign conventions. You continue with your way and solve the values for the members. So KFE equal to minus 0.333 kilonewton. So it is compressive in nature. When we take summation of V equal to 0, we arrive the value of KFB is equal to 0.333 kilonewton, which is tensile in nature. So now we have found out for KA and KF. Next, moving on to joint B. So joint B, the member forces connecting are KBA, BC, BE and BF. So already we have found out some member forces. So using that, we are going to find out the remaining one. So summation of V equal to 0, we will arrive KBE is equal to minus 0.471 kilonewton. So considering all the forces to acting outputs, that is tensile in nature, and we have to calculate the angle, and we have to calculate the summation of vertical force is equal to 0. So when we take summation of H equal to 0, KBC minus KBA plus KBE cos 45 degrees is equal to 0, and we have known these values. So KBC values arrived as 0.666 kilonewton. Similarly, we are doing it for joint C, joint D. So while doing it for joint C, we have arrived at KC value as 1 kilonewton, which is tensile in nature, and KCD and KCB value as 0.666 kilonewton. So last, considering D, we have member DE is pending. So when we use summation of H equal to 0 at joint D, we can find out the virtual force KDE, that is minus 0.942 kilonewton. So it is nothing but applying method of joints. So what we have did till now, we have removed the external loadings of 50 kilonewton. I have to find out the displacement at joint C. So I'm going to apply a unit load at joint C, and using method of joint, I'm finding out the member forces, which is virtual forces. So first phase is over. So next is to find out the real forces. What are the real forces? 50 kilonewton acting at point B and C. So here the reaction will be changing. So as it is symmetrical, see here. So it is symmetrical in nature. It is also 50 kilonewton. It is also 50 kilonewton, and it is at a same distance of 3 meter, and here also 3 meter. So we can take RA is equal to RD, which is equal to total load divided by 2, that is 100, 50 plus 50, 100 divided by 2, that is 50 kilonewton. By using the method of joints again, so we are having a new RA and RD, and there is we are considering the real forces 50 kilonewton. So now using these values, we are going to redo the sum with the real forces. So considering joint A again, using the equilibrium equation, summation of V equal to 0 and summation of H equal to 0, we are going to find out the member forces. FAF is equal to minus 70.71 kilonewton, and FAB is equal to 50 kilonewton. And while considering joint F, so considering the equilibrium equation, summation of V equal to 0 and summation of H equal to 0, FB is 50 kilonewton and FE is 50 kilonewton. So considering for joint B, so all these things are carried out by using the real forces. So these are real forces of the member. So considering joint B, we have found out FBE is equal to 0 and FBC is 50 kilonewton. Joint C, so taking again summation of V equal to 0, FC is 50 kilonewton, and we take summation of H equal to 0, FCD is 50 kilonewton. So similarly for the last joint, that is joint D, and we have arrived FDE is equal to 70.71 kilonewton. So first we have considered the virtual force as 1 kilonewton and calculate the member forces. Next again consider the real forces and calculate the member forces. So almost our sum is over. And we are having the virtual work equation. 1 into del is equal to summation of K into FL divided by AE. So next term is L. So we have to calculate the length of each and every member. So using Pythagoras theorem, solve the length of the member. So now result tabular column. So arrange the values what we have solved so far in a tabular column. So member, virtual forces K, member forces F, and length of the member, and finally KFL. So members, these are the forces obtained by considering a unit load of 1 kilonewton, and these are the real forces which we have obtained by considering a real force of 50 kilonewton. So I have tabulated each and every value and length. So multiply these ones, K into F into L. So KFL. So once you have filled this tabular column, so do summation of this KFL. So its values are around 923.582 into this one is for convention of kilonewton and meter into Newton mm. So into 1000 square. So divided by A and E, we already have the area of member as 400 and E is 2 into 10 to the power 5. 10 to the power 5. So when you solve this, we will have an answer of 11.54 mm. So deflection, that is displacement at joint C is 11.54 mm. So as it is a long sum, you have to do it in a quicker manner. So yeah, whether it is in a portal pin jointed truss or whether it is in a beam, whatever we have seen in this video, particular video, is based on a single concept that we have to remove the external load. We have to apply an imaginary load that is equal to 1 kilonewton. So it is also known as unit load method. Then we are equating the using these virtual and real forces. We are finding out the deflection of the structure. So let's see some more sums in the regular case. Thank you, students.